Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So the lovely people at Xencelabs actually has sent me their tablet, like pen tablet bundle or set that they wanted me to review and try out for you guys. So I'm gonna do my best for the first portion of the video to really go in depth in what's in this bundle to see if it's a good fit for you. So as you can see, once you open up the box, there's this giant kind of like cardstock mat, and then here is the tablet and then a few other accessories, as well as the tablet pen case and the quick case, which is the remote looking thing, and then the box has all the cords. Underneath is actually a tablet sleeve. So we'll take a closer look at all of these before we get started with the drawing today. So this is their quick keys. It definitely does look like kind of like a remote. It is wireless and can be plugged in, which I think is great because you can kind of just like lay it anywhere is more comfortable for you rather than being stuck to your actual tablet and using the express keys. So that's, I find, very helpful. So here is the pen case. So the pen case actually has a bunch of things inside. As you can see, it has two different tablet pens, two different dongles, and then the ring. We'll get to talk about that a little bit more a little bit later in the video. Here is the tablet itself. I will leave measurements on the screen, but if you need a visual, my notebook is about, I think, 5 by 7, like an A5 size, so you guys can see the size a little bit better. But yeah, and then at the top there's 3 buttons. So you can see that this tablet also has a little bit more of a kind of like incline on the surface of it, which is, I think, is great because it really helps with my wrist to lay on it properly. Here is the sleeve or the case. So this sleeve fits the tablet, it fits the remote, the pen case, the cords all nicely into here. So it has a Velcro to kind of seal it at the top. It has a big pouch with this really soft material on the inside, which is for your tablet itself. And then it has another larger pocket and then 2 little sections in the pocket as well. So like I said, the tablet goes into the larger one, and then you can put your cases into the 2 smaller ones. And then for me, I didn't show it here, but I put the cords in the little bit of the bigger pocket, but you can definitely fit a few more things, but it keeps everything nice and snug and it feels secure. So onto the cords. This is what's in the box. So it comes with 2 USB-L cables, I believe it's called. It has the USB and then the little part that goes into your tablet and the quick keys. Here is a closer look at the pen tablet case. So the pen tablet case holds the dongles, like I said. So the dongles are, one is from USB to USB-C. So you can see that here, the USB cable needs to have an adapter if you need to use it to a USB-C. I believe Macs use this and plenty of Windows laptops also use this now. This is the wireless dongle. This is what you can use so you don't have to plug in your cords. But we'll get into it a little bit later when I talk about charging and everything for the tablet. Obviously, it came with a nice little glove. I'm just trying it on just to show you guys. In the drawing, it's like when I'm doing the drawing, I actually don't use it. I almost never use gloves. In the beginning, I used to use them because my hands would get really clammy, but today I'm not going to be using it, so I'm going to store it safely for now, and then maybe in the future, I will use it if I need to. But I think it's a good idea if your tablet either gets too hot or your hands get a little bit clammy and you want to keep your screen or your tablet really clean. So like I said, in this tablet case, pen tablet case, it has 2 pens, which I find very unique actually. So it has this bigger one, which they consider is the free button pen, and then this is their fin pen. So the fin pen is actually almost similar in size to a normal pencil. As you can see, it's just a little bit thicker, it's a little bit lighter, and it's just really slim, and it feels really nice to use. It almost feels like using like a fine liner or almost like the Apple Pencil. And obviously the free button pen is of a larger side, which is akin to a lot more other brands of tablet pen, and it's perfect to have a good grip, I guess. So for the nibs, I know some people who have no experience with using tablets might find this helpful, so I included this in here. You use the extractor ring to pinch the pen tib nablet to pull it out if you want to change out your nibs. And to put the nib back in, you just shove it back in until you hear it click, and then it's back in. It does come with spare nibs at the top, so you can feel free to experiment and change when need to. So like I said in the beginning that there was kind of like this big mat-like thing. I thought it was just a thank you card, but yeah, it has all the instructions. So it's showing you that yes, you can use cords for both your quick keys and your tablet, but after they're fully charged, you can definitely switch over and use just the dongle, which is what I will be using today. I made sure to charge them. So here is the Quick Keys remote out of the box. I have not plugged it in and it's not on currently, so we'll take a closer look to when it's actually on a little bit later. But yeah, you can see it has a nice scroll wheel. It has several buttons as well as a screen in the middle, which I didn't know this was what it was. I thought it was just a design aspect, but yes, the black portion in the center is a screen. So it will have labels and lights to show you what your keys are mapped to. So onto my computer, I have opened up their menu and you can see that you can change the pen tablet colors. So I'll insert a picture here. You can actually change the brightness as well as the color just to, you know, kind of customize it for yourself. The buttons at the top are not exactly express keys. You can use them as express keys, but currently, like defaulted, they are used to help access your menus and kind of like the behind the scene kind of stuff that you need for your tablet itself. For the pen, or both of the pens, the 3-button pen and the thin pen, I decided to make sure that I changed the pressure sensitivity of both around the same, and then I also made sure to change the buttons to something more appropriate. In the end, I actually changed them all to be, I think, right click or whatever is the color picker for your program. I matched my pen pressures to one another. It also has this little scratch pad that you can use to test out your pen, but I also have Tool SAI open because that's my favorite program to work in, and I have it open just so I can test along while changing things. So you can see that here we have the little Quick Keys remote and the dial switch. I think you can change the color of it as well and kind of color code them to show you what kind of sets you have, and you can change the settings for each. You can have it to zoom in and out, you can have it to scroll, you can have it change brush settings, you can have it to rotate the canvas, and then every time you press the leftmost button, it changes your different little kind of like settings or like sequences or groupings for your shortcuts, which I think is great. Also here, I am showing you guys some other things you can change, like your preferences, so you know where your drawing area is, as well as you can check the percentages of your batteries for both your Quick Keys and your pen tablet. So now I'm going to go on to drawing, so I'll see you guys then, and I'll talk about my thoughts and feelings there. Okay, so now that we're on to the drawing portion, let me talk about what I'm drawing first, and then we'll kind of slowly go over kind of my pros and cons about using this tablet bundle, and yeah, just kind of like my experience using it. I know the beginning was more like information overload, so I could get through everything, but now that we're on to kind of the drawing portion, I'm just gonna kind of slowly go through everything and hopefully answer as many things as I can. So if you guys have any questions, you can just leave them in the comments. So today I will be drawing Kaida Haru from Nijisanji JP. I've always wanted to draw more and more fan art for him, but I didn't feel confident in doing so for a long time, so I'm gonna slowly try my best to draw him again. And I am deciding that because I'm working in Tool SAI and that I'm working with a pen tablet that has no screen, I wanted to do something with line work. So another reason, I've mentioned this in the past, I guess, one of the biggest reasons why I stopped doing line art in general was actually because I switched to a screen tablet. Now, I know people might think there's no correlation, or like this is kind of a weird correlation. So for me, switching to like a screen tablet from a non-screen tablet was a little bit bigger of a jump for me, and it was a little bit weird feeling. So I got my first screen tablet in 2020, and this is before I even got the iPad, so I had no really any experience drawing on the screen, and I didn't figure out that a portion of me not liking to do line work on the screen is because your hand kind of covers your end point from when you're doing your line work. Like even if I have stabilizers and smoothing on and it kind of makes your line lag, it's hard for me to see where my line's gonna end up. And I used to do line work super quickly and a little bit more efficiently because when I was using the actual pen tablet with no screen, I could see my whole screen without my hand like hovering in front of my face. So that's already one pro that I have just using a non-screen tablet in general. So yeah, I am sketching Kaida Haru in kind of his newer outfit, or the one that he has for I think like his group stuff. It's kind of like a group uniform almost. So yeah, I'm sketching as clean as I can just so I know where I'm doing my line work, because I wanted to add as much detail as I can, because I feel like I'm a bit more confident with doing line work now, now that I know how I like the color and stuff. So I'm kind of adjusting things as I go. In terms of background and stuff, I wanted to make it look kind of like a concert, which I'm going to switch up a little bit later, and it won't read well until later I put in like effects and like background stuff. So yeah, okay, let's talk about the tablet. So let's talk about the pros first. So things I really liked, I'm not a big person who uses express keys, and one of the biggest reasons is because I don't like having my wrist or my hand right next to my drawing surface unless I'm working traditionally, because I don't know, my left hand is very like idle very much of the times, and I often use the keyboard keys instead, and it's just my hand likes to rest on the keyboard a lot. Even if you watch me draw on like my iPad, you see my left hand's either not in the frame to do anything, or it's just resting next to there. Like it doesn't really do much. And the reason being is I think it's like the distance on the tablet. I don't like having my hand on the tablet itself. So I like the fact that the quick keys is not like bound to the tablet. It's kind of like if I wanted to, I could put my hand on my lap, on, I don't know, the edge of my desk. I can basically put it anywhere that's not even around my tablet because it's not like stuck with it. And I like the fact that also after you charge your tablet and your quick keys, you can actually just switch over to using the dongle. So what I like about using the USB dongle is the fact that you don't have to use two long cords anymore. So the tablet itself, or the bundle, does come with two cords. Now I kind of wish that it was one cord split into two just for wire management, because my wire management is pretty poor. But I do like the fact that, yeah, the dongle kind of solves that problem. I can use the kind of the cords to kind of charge my devices, and then later on I'll switch to the dongle and have basically just a cordless and just a wireless experience, which I think is a little bit better. I did not really I didn't have any lag issues either, which is great. But yeah, I definitely prefer using it wirelessly. It's just clears up things off my desk. And the reason why I wasn't able to show you guys live footage of me drawing alongside with the the screen recording was actually because my laptop lacks the amount of ports, like USB ports. So I always have to have a USB hub kind of thing plugged into a USB-C adapter. And because of that, when I tried plugging in my tablet, I think, what is it called? The quick keys and my other screen at the same time, and my webcam, I actually short-circuited it, or it says like it's power surging. So I was unable to do that. So it's kind of hard for me to show you guys, but I do like the fact that, like I said, less wires via the wireless dongle thing definitely helps, as well as just I don't know how to explain it. The tablet, okay, I guess this is like on a different topic. The tablet itself, I like the finish on it as well as the color. It's kind of like a nice light gray. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about because I couldn't show you guys directly via the webcam. Yeah, there's like kind of like physical things I couldn't show you guys, like me using the quick keys. So the quick keys, you can actually use it upright with the wheel at the top. You can use it at the wheel at the bottom, or the wheel on the left, or the wheel on the right. So I've set it so that the wheel was on the right side, and apparently it's recommended for people who are left-handed, and I did agree with that layout. So one problem I did have using the quick keys is that the remote keys are a little bit harder to press compared to, let's say, a keyboard key or express keys that I've used in the past, where it feels a little bit more like clicky. This one I feel like, because they're fairly shallow and more flushed with the surface of the remote, it feels a little bit harder. Like there's less bounce back, so sometimes I'm unsure if I'm even pressing the button as much. But I feel like it's a little bit of nitpicky things. I know some people who maybe want to hold their remote or like the quick keys instead might have an easier time pressing because maybe you're using your thumb. I had it flat on my desk, so I was kind of treating it as a keyboard, and it does have a grip on the back, so I know you can use it on a surface, but I think holding it might be better for me, and I would probably be able to maneuver the wheel a little bit more easily. I do like being able to have different sets for the keys, so that's really nice. You can set different kind of combinations for the 8 buttons that you do have, and then you can press kind of like the button at the bottom, which is like it's like the lone button, and you can kind of switch sets as you work. So I really did like that as well. Also, the tablet itself, I think I mentioned it briefly, but it does kind of have like a little bit of a slant or like a rounded beveled edge at the bottom, which I think is more natural feeling for my wrist, which was really nice. I did take a while to, maybe like, I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes playing around on Tool SAI and using the pens and stuff, because I didn't realize how big of a disconnect I had from not being used to using this kind of a display or a non-display tablet. So if you are planning to get this tablet and you never worked digitally before, just remember it will be a little bit difficult. There is a bit of a disconnect where you're no longer looking at your surface, you're kind of looking at your screen and you're just moving your hand wherever your mouse is. So it's very important to have your cursor or something on the screen so you know where your cursor is. But yeah, I do like the size of the tablet too. I always recommend that when you're starting out, if you can afford it, size up your tablet so that you won't get carpal tunnel from doing tiny wrist movements. It's better to use more of the surface area if you can, so you can use more of your arm and a little bit bigger movements for your wrist, so you're not accidentally tightening or causing damage to your wrist. From the most part, beginning of when I started drawing digitally, I had the small tablet from Wacom, I believe, and then I sized up to the Intuos, and then using this one felt very comfortable. The surface finish, I said it was really nice. The slant really helped with my wrist, as well as the size I think is great, and then I obviously like the lighter color just for the aesthetics and stuff. Pen wise, I found it very interesting. I've never really seen a brand have 2 pens that it comes with for the tablet, and I actually found myself switching between them quite often. I kind of feel like I might like the smaller one for sketching and line work, and then the bigger one, or like the normal looking one, I guess, is kind of more for like maybe painting or doing a little bit more detailed work. I noticed on the pens themselves that the buttons on the thin pen are a little bit higher, which makes me feel like you're supposed to, like, you know, position your hand a bit higher on the pencil, maybe meaning that you could work a little bit looser. It is a little bit lighter, and it does feel, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I really like thinner pens when I'm trying to sketch a little bit like looser and lightly, just because I feel like I'm not kind of like holding something super heavy. But then the one with the bigger base, or the free button pen, I think it just fits nicely. It feels very similar to the pens that I like to use in the past when working digitally. It has a nice bigger base. The thickness of it is quite nice for you to hold, so you're not accidentally scrunching up your hand. So yeah, I think it's quite unique to have 2 different pens in one set. I really like the pen case too. I can definitely see this tablet as more of a portable tablet, if that makes sense. So I think having the wireless dongle, the carrying case, also the pen case, and the remote, or like the quick keys, I think all of them kind of are great to have when you're going out to draw. You can kind of like customize and maximize the amount of, or minimize, I guess, the amount of space you need when working out. Let's say you're at a cafe, you don't have to worry about cords too much. your pens are quite safely tucked away into a nice little case rather than like just having the pen stand, which I feel like having the pen stand makes it feel like you're a little bit more stationary rather than being able to go out. I also do like the sleeve for the pen tablet, and just like everything else, it kind of like neatly compacts everything nicely. You can definitely just stick that into your backpack or some kind of messenger bag, and I feel like everything is just secure. I've had other sleeves in the past where it feels like the tablet fits in it, but I don't feel like it's secure. Like it feels like it's just covered. This one actually feels like an actual case. There's no like backboard or anything, but the material feels good. Like it feels like it would keep everything safe because it's a little bit of a thicker material that seems like if it were to hit the ground, it wouldn't like shatter or anything like that. In terms of cons, I think it was mostly my inexperience and lack of getting used to for the quick keys. Like I said, I definitely prefer if the quick keys are a little bit easier to press, but I could see why people might not want that, because I think it might be a greater amount of error having your keys so close together. If they were to be easily pressed, then it might be more of an issue. But for me, I definitely think, I don't know, I would like maybe a little bit more of like a bounce back or a click or something to feel like I'm actually pressing the button, because like I said, the buttons are a bit shallow. But for the most part, I really like this bundle. I've never really seen a bundle like this before. So if you would like to check out Xencelabs, I highly recommend it. I'll leave links in the description as well as the specific one that I was using in the video, because I really enjoyed this. And I definitely think that if I ever do traveling and I want to bring my laptop and a tablet, I actually think I would bring this one because the portability is great. I also feel like I won't lose all my stuff. Which is nice, and the 2 different pens is great because I think I could work up for a little bit longer of a time without feeling like my hands getting like fatigue. But yeah, I think that's it for the tablet stuff. I'm gonna quickly talk about the drawing a little bit. Like I said, I was working with line work this time. I think it worked out more better for the hair just because I did put more detail. As for coloring, skin, I tried to color everything. I think I did 2 layers and then I merged them to 1 layer. Then I did a bit of airbrushing because I kind of get into this weird zone of over rendering things and then I want to knock it back, so I did. I think his fingers are a little long. I didn't notice that. And later, I don't think I did this quite yet, but I noticed some errors in his shoulder. Oh, I'm doing it right now actually. So I'm painting over it. I'm painting over his shirt, and then I'm gonna paint over his mic because his mic is tiny and I wanted to extend it. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of just fix those errors, and I think that's the benefit from me learning how to do painting, so I can fix those errors, because that's another reason why I didn't like doing line work, is because line work feels very like structured and very more permanent than doing painting. The permanency from painting, I feel like there is none. I can always paint over and erase as much as needed, but when I do line work, I always have to, go back to the line work, then go back to my base colors and go back to shadows and like adjust everything. But I'm trying to minimize my process. You can see that in my coloring folder for Kaida Haru, I kind of minimized everything to a certain point. I tried to, once I've done putting shadows and all the colors that I need, I merge it down and just paint the clothing. I try to merge and kind of fix the hair as well. And for the background, I'm trying to make it look more like a concert type scene. I'm gonna save this as a PSD and open it up in Clip Studio Paint to do some final effects and stuff right here. So I'm gonna blur the background. I'm also going to duplicate the whole thing and blur it, take it back into Paint Studio or Tool SAI, and then kind of erase. I'm trying to give it a little bit more of like a hazier effect and kind of soften the edges. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you again to Xencelabs for sending me this tablet for me to try and review for you guys, and I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye!